Today we are reviewing polygons and quadrilaterals. You only need to write down the first standard benchmark indicator here. The student will identify, classify, and describe the characteristics of plane figures, describing their similarities, differences, and defining properties. Polygons. A polygon is a closed figure made of line segments. Polygons are classified by the number of sides they have. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. In a regular polygon, all the sides and all the angles have the same measure. A quadrilateral has 4 sides. So in the first column, we have the irregular polygon example of each of the ones we're going to go through. And then on the right side, we have a regular polygon. So since in a regular polygon, all the sides and angles have to have the same measures, the only regular quadrilateral is a square. A pentagon has 5 sides, and again we can see the irregular shape in the first column, the regular one in the second. A hexagon has 6 sides, and an octagon has 8 sides. Example, name the polygon and tell if it is regular or irregular. The polygon to the right has 5 sides, so it is a pentagon. Its sides and angles are all equal, so it is a regular polygon. So the polygon is a regular pentagon. Try it. Name each polygon and tell whether it is irregular or regular. For A, if we count up, we know we have 8 sides there, and they are all the same length, and all the angles are the same measure, so we have a regular octagon. For B, we have 6 sides, but we can tell they're not all the same length and the angles aren't the same measure, so we have an irregular hexagon. For C, we know it's a triangle, and we know all the sides are not the same length and all the angles are not the same measure, so we have an irregular triangle. Next, for D, we have 4 sides, so we know it's a quadrilateral, and we can tell they're not all the same length, so we have an irregular quadrilateral. For E, we again have 6 sides. This time they are all the same length and the angles are all the same measure, so we have a regular hexagon. Then for F, if we look, we have 5 sides there, but we know they are not all the same length, so we have an irregular pentagon. Quadrilaterals. Any polygon with 4 sides is a quadrilateral. The 5 special types of quadrilaterals are shown below. We start up at the top of our flowchart here. They are all quadrilaterals because they have 4 sides. We go over here, the trapezoid has exactly 2 sides that are parallel. The other 2 sides are not. Over here, our next category under quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are the same length and opposite sides are parallel. Then to the right, we have a rectangle. Opposite sides are the same length and all the angles are 90 degrees. On the far side, on the left, we have a rhombus. All sides the same length, opposite sides are parallel. And then in the middle, we have a square. All sides are the same length and all angles are 90 degrees. Some figures can be classified in more than one way. The square, for example, fits just about every category of quadrilateral. Example, classify the figure in as many ways as possible. The figure has 4 sides, so it is a quadrilateral. The figure has opposite sides that are parallel and the same length, so it is also a parallelogram. All angles measure 90 degrees and opposite sides are the same length, so it is a rectangle. So the figure can be classified as a quadrilateral, a parallelogram, and a rectangle. Try it. Classify this figure in as many ways as possible. How many sides? We know there are 4. And how many pairs of opposite sides are parallel? We know 2. Continuing with C, are opposite sides the same length? Yes. Are all the sides? Yes. For E, do all the angles measure 90 degrees? And the answer to that is no. So, based on the way we've answered the questions here, the polygon is a quadrilateral, parallelogram, and rhombus. For G, we need to classify this figure in as many ways as possible. So we're going to use the questions above to help us walk through the sort to figure out which categories it falls in. So we know it has 4 sides. It only has 1 pair of parallel sides, which means we can just stop there because there's only one shape that has that. It's a trapezoid. So it's a quadrilateral and a trapezoid. Please make sure you have all the work copied down and glue the pages in your math notebook.